Good morning. This is your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing, starting off with some breezy and mostly cloudy conditions. We are currently in a wind advisory, and we will likely remain breezy as we move through the day today. Additionally, we will see some deteriorating conditions as we get into the afternoon, as we have a boundary sinking into the area. It's going to bring some shower activity through the area as we get particularly into the middle part and later part of the afternoon and continuing into the evening time frame. And with that, we will see a chance of a thunderstorm embedded within that activity as that rain shower moves through the area. And then on the backside of the system, we'll see cooler temperatures settling in with more quiet conditions as we move through the weekend outside of some lingering breezy conditions. Current surface analysis has that boundary dropping through the area. This surface analysis was a bit earlier this morning, so the boundary a bit closer to our area, as well as that shower activity, which we'll see here in just a moment. But behind this, we will see this area of high pressure building in over the region. We'll see a brief reprieve of the breezy conditions, particularly tomorrow night. But during the daytime hours, to expect some breezy conditions on Saturday and some slightly breezy conditions as we move into Sunday. Current conditions this morning, seeing few clouds 5,000 feet, scattered at 17,000, broken at 25,000, and seeing those winds out of the west-southwest, 14 knots. Latest observation had gusts up to 22 knots. Temperature 68 degrees, relative humidity is at 68%. Current visible satellite and composite radar, we can see we're in a bit of a hole here in the cloud cover, just on the leading edge of this more significant cloud cover to our north. So we'll see a few peaks of sun as we move through the morning, and then gradually becoming overcast as we get into the afternoon, and those showers still sitting fairly well off to the north, over the northern peninsula here, but we'll see that gradually sinking southward again as we get into the afternoon time frame. We'll look at the high resolution model, see how this is expected to play out, or at least one model output of this. And you can see here picking up pretty good on the current status of that line of showers and reflectivity. And we'll see as we move through the day today, we'll see that dropping southward. And it does look like could see some weakening initially along that line of showers as it drops southward, bringing a chance of a shower around the area by late morning, early afternoon. But as we get into the middle portion of the afternoon, we start to see a revamping of some of that shower activity developing and pushing through the Wallops area and local area. And we do see some indications of some of these higher reflectivity values being simulated here, indicating the possibility for a heavier shower embedded within some of this activity. And with that heavier shower, that's when we'll see a chance of possibly some lightning embedded within this as it pushes through the area again later afternoon and into the evening time frame. As we go into the late evening and overnight time, we'll start to see a few lingering light rain showers pushing out of the area, with all of the rain expected to push out of the area as we pass the midnight time frame. And we'll see those winds shifting more northerly, cooler air continuing to funnel into the area, and we'll see cooler temperatures moving through the overnight with some clearing skies as well. And that is set up as we go into Saturday with some mostly sunny conditions through much of the day, albeit some cooler air moving in, so still going to see a fairly chilly day as well as some breezy conditions throughout the day, but overall pretty nice day outside of some chilly and breezy conditions. Again, that high pressure builds in overnight into Sunday, so winds lighten through that time frame, once again setting up for another chilly evening. And as we move into Sunday, we will see temperatures start to moderate slightly back into the 50s for our highs. But it does look like we will see a chance of some slightly breezy conditions, particularly later in the day as that high pressure quickly moves over and tracks off to the east. But things looking dry as we move through the remainder of the weekend and into the beginning of our next work week. So taking a look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, we do have red conditions for winds above 25 knots as we are currently in that wind advisory this morning. It is possible we see a brief period of being able to cancel that wind advisory. Depends on how these winds cooperate. I do expect a slight decrease as we get later in the morning before once again increasing as we go into the afternoon. So continuing with an orange risk as we move through the afternoon evening time frame, and then expecting a period of some lighter winds through the overnight time frame as that boundary initially passes, and then on the backside of that boundary we'll see those winds back on the increase. And generally we'll see west-southwesterly winds this morning becoming more northerly as we get late morning, early afternoon, and then at times becoming northeasterly, as we get later afternoon, and we'll see temperatures responding to that onshore flow, dropping fairly quickly as we go late afternoon into the evening time frame, and then eventually those winds turn more northerly, northwesterly, and become breezy, and then that's when that cooler air mass starts to settle into the area. So for our high temperature today, likely going to see it as we move through our morning hours, around 70 degrees, and then slightly falling as we get into the later morning, early afternoon, and then again as those winds shift, we'll see those winds really start to drop off, and then going overnight into the early morning hours, that cooler air mass settles in, expecting that low temperature to get around 34 degrees. So peak winds today are seeing those 27 knot gusts this morning, and then again expecting 20 to 25 knots as we move through the entirety of the day, with a brief decrease overnight before picking back up going into tomorrow. As we get into the afternoon, about after the noon time frame, we will have a slight chance of a few showers around, but that rain shower chance really starts to increase and becomes likely as we pass the 14 local time frame and continues into that evening time frame. Again, as mentioned, we'll see that start to decrease as we approach midnight, with things clearing out back to green conditions, and we do carry a yellow risk for lightning across that shower activity moving through the area, with the chance of an embedded thunderstorm, and we will see some reduced ceilings of visibilities with that as well. So a yellow risk for that, and then we pick back up that yellow risk for wind advisory to start the day tomorrow, with those winds picking back up. Tides running normal at this time, and for our weekend, we'll see partly cloudy, the most sunny conditions as mentioned for Saturday, breezy and chilly with a high of 47. Orange risk for wind advisory criteria during the daytime hours. Quiet conditions Saturday evening, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, low around 33 degrees, and then moving into Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy, slightly breezy. Just a slight chance of seeing a wind advisory criteria late in the day, as those winds are expected to pick up a bit later in the day, but just a slight chance of that wind advisory criteria. Otherwise, highs back in the 50s with a high of 53. That's going to wrap up the 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. We'll be back again at 10 a.m. to take a look at the extended forecast. Enjoy your morning.